Okay, so I'm going to quickly show you how you may log in and check your students' work that has been uploaded into Turnitin if you are unsure whether they've printed off the entire Turnitin report. We have had a few issues, so this will make your job easier, and I'll expand on what some of those issues were later. Okay, so how you find the Turnitin login. You don't even have to, you go to the portal and you click on the Information Centre, which is our lovely library page. Yes, I do need to change the photos. Referencing essay study tips and Turnitin page has lots of fabulous things for your student. There should be no reason why they do not know how to make a website. This one here is made for Year 7 for Ancient History, and I know Ms Metcalf uses it regularly, her class. I've got a Stella Maris printing reference guide. This is a Word document which sets out separately each resource and how they look in the bibliography, how they look in the citation, with hyperlinks so that they can jump around and see what they want to find. This is also good linking words and phrases if they want to have some synonyms and be able to join phrases together. Down here is a tutorial from Monash University, and I've taken some screenshots which I'm going to show you in this tutorial. All right, so how a student gets in, how you can get in, is either through Turnitin or through mine. I'm not going to tell you the password at this stage. I'll put it on the email because this is going to be uploaded to YouTube. You can see that I'm an instructor. My name is there. I have, at this stage, made 3 classes. That's Year 12, Year 11, Year 10. I'm going to go to Year 12 and have a look. Some of Year 10 have been enrolled, some haven't. We're just working our way through. I have permission from a student in Year 12 to look at one of her work and from the subject area. So I've clicked on, actually I'll go back to home. So you saw me click on the 2019. Now I want to have a look at the student work. You can see Mia Agostino, Gemma Alex, alphabetical order. So the student I'm looking for is in the H, and I've used this enough to know that it's on number 3. So this is Ruby Hayson, who's given me permission, and that's all her details there. Okay, so Ruby Hayson has several there. She seems to be quite adept at using Turnitin. The one we're going to look at is her highest one, and it's food tech, because it's quite interesting, this one. Oh, I didn't mean to click on there. What you're going to click on is not that one. That's what they click on. You want to be able to have a look at the full document. So you click on the food tech. You could also see when it was uploaded, so there's no problem with the date that it's uploaded. And you can't see anything here yet. Nothing's highlighted, so I'm going to click here. Grading and similarity. I'm going to click on this, so we're going to see what has been highlighted, what's similar. And I'm going to have a little click here, and I'll show you all the sources, where they're from. Now this is quite interesting. This was submitted to Stella Maris College. I know that this was submitted a previous year, and that is because these subjects go for a full year. If you want to check for collusion among students within your particular class, particular year, at the end when they've uploaded, I'll have to show you how to make your own. You'll have to be an instructor and make your own subject. But if you're happy to use it this way, keep using it this way. Okay, so what the students do is we want them to print from their Turnitin, and we want the full Turnitin report. They can't just hand in an originality report because they're using their superpowers and finding their way around it and subverting the system. So they must print from Turnitin so you've got something to test it against. Okay, so how they do that is they click down there in that arrow. It's the current view because you want to have the colours. You can see here, this is number 1. It would normally come up as a number 1. And if I clicked on that, if it was a website, it would take me. If I clicked on this particular one, it would take me there. It is not always exactly the same resources that they get it from, because the internet is a huge monster and information is shared, so it's not always exactly the same resource. Okay, so they've downloaded, and let me see. I'm going to show you. We've got food tech that they're going to print from, and they will have food tech. She must have called us. It's food tech #1 by Ruby Hayson. because it's from her. So if someone else does it for them, it will have their name on it instead. It gives you the date and the time it was uploaded, submission number, word count, which is useful, character count, which is useful. Now, the reason that I think I told you that they used a template. It doesn't mean that all the questions are the same. It means that they've used the base question, but they've changed that year after year. Okay, so most of that is from the template. And I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to show you. None of it is in huge chunks. It is all where you would expect it to be. None of it's her work. It's not worrying in any way. It's a little bit there, but nothing, that's obviously, you're going to have a bit of similarity with other work. Okay, so I'll scroll down and this is what we come to. The highest level is the student paper, Stella Maris College. 10%, I would call it 10% similarity index, similarity report. 3 from internet, 1 publication, 8 student papers. It is important that these are all off, okay? The quotes are off, bibliography are off, exclude matches are off. They're not off, be worried. For example, if this one says on, and it's white and none of the quotes are highlighted, they could have put a quote at the very top of their assessment and quote at the very bottom of their assessment and turned it invisible, and it wouldn't pick up any quotes at all. All right, the whole thing could even be a quote, so they can get around it that way. So it's important they're all off. I like to have the bibliography on because I want them to become educated about how they look at their work, and I want that off because all matches should come up. Okay, so that's what it should look like when it's handed into you. They've got page numbers, there should be nothing missing. Now, if you decide that you don't want your student to have a bibliography in there, still have it off, but just say, look, hand up your bibliography separately and just have it stapled together. That makes no difference. Okay, so I'm going to show you a little bit what else there is. And I've made a quick revision here. And so I've got 2 pages. This one here is showing you how to read the similarity report, and it's taken from Monash University. This one here is what is to cite and what not to cite. No. Assessment paragraph where if it's perhaps a reflection where you're not expecting any extra information, or perhaps it is a story, you do not cite. This one here, if it's a quotation, you can put at the end, author, comma, date, quote, full stop. Yes, you quote. Paraphrase a paragraph. Anything that's written by anyone else and you put it into your own words, you put down here. You're writing someone else's ideas, your own words, author, comma, date. You can see that there at the end. You can become a bit fiddly down here, which I can show you. And the same thing, class notes. Just be aware that class notes are to be also in your bibliography and cited, because they will come up. Because of course all of us teachers, we don't work in a vacuum. We get information from online, so we can see sometimes. I had a student that had 86% copied and pasted from her class notes, and she thought that was okay. But of course it's not, because we want to see how she's interpreted it. Okay, so here, how to cite assessment examples, straightforward. This is paraphrased. Can go at the end of the sentence or at the end of the paragraph. You can write the author's name separately and introduce it, but the date is in a paragraph. 2 sources, and the student just wants to put everything at the end of the paragraph. You just insert them, bean, comma, date, and then break it up, and you have them in alphabetical order. Here I introduce this one. It's the same as above. The blue is class notes. The ochre is bean, 2009. All right, this is from Monash University, and I'm going to make this a bit bigger. This is what you've got to be concerned about. Oh, hopefully it's clear enough. Okay, you can see here that this is a big chunk. That is not good. That means it's been copied and pasted. This is also a concern. It's 46%. Don't worry, I've had girls that have had 36%, but it's because it's included the bibliography, and I can see where, there might be big questions that have come from class notes. Sometimes that creeps up. It's not this amount. It can be a red light, You know, if it's above 20%, I think I'd be I'd have a good look at it. But you can judge that. You will be judging that by marking on their coloured work. So we've got 40%. The fact that it's all from one source is also a concern, all right, because that means they're not reading widely. This here, now this person has not, she has put this in inverted commas, so she's indicated that it's someone else's work, but the problem is that most of that paragraph, and she's said where she got it from, but she actually hasn't interpreted. So it's, you know, you really, what are you marking? You're marking someone that's been able to introduce someone else's work. There's no analysis. Whereas this one here, I know it's a bit complicated, but as I said, I took it straight from there, and we don't use all this et al. We just use APA, using the referencing. You can see how this jumps about. There are going to be some similarities here, and this is not a concern. You can see, now if you have a lot of, what we were finding is students who they might have had 30 resources, but they actually weren't using them. If you want to check your bibliography, these are all colour-coded. That doesn't mean you have to go through 1, 2, 3, 4. What I normally do is I go to 1, and then I find another one which may be 12, and then I might find 24, and I just circle them, and I know that they've been used, because you don't have that much time. That's my suggestion. So what you can take from this, don't just look at the similarity index, because sometimes it can be high depending on how many students there are, how many words there are, how big the quotes are. You have to take that into account. You look at the size of individual matches, as in this case, and the distribution of the text matches is important, as in this case, it's too high. All right, thanks very much. Now, if you're interested, I also am going to make a tutorial for people who want to be an instructor themselves so that they can check for collusion within each assessment task. As I said, I've avoided that because I just didn't want you to have extra work, but if that's what you would like to do, I'm really happy to help you out. Thanks for listening. Come and see me anytime. I appreciate your taking part. Thank you.